If you're a teacher, there is one practice that you can easily do to get better results in your classroom. Today, I'm going to share with you my top 3 reasons why you need a colleague to be your sounding board. Welcome to the Teacher Revolution, where I teach you tips and tricks to continue to grow as an educator. I'm Cindy. I'm a counselor and a teacher coach. Today I want to talk about why it's important to be able to bounce your ideas off of a colleague or somebody that you trust so that you can continue to improve your practice. I was recently talking to another teacher coach, and we were sharing that what we noticed is that teachers that have a colleague or a group of people that they talk to on a regular tend to do better in the classroom than teachers who don't have a sounding board. Teachers that just stick to their own ideas, don't share those ideas, or don't ask for feedback. And we're seeing that teachers who go out and share or are willing to collaborate with others just have better classroom management, they have better lessons, and they are just doing so much better than the teachers who do not reach out and don't have a sounding board. Before I share with you my 3 reasons on why you need somebody to collaborate with, make sure you hit that subscribe button. So I want to start off with, what are some things that you might want to collaborate with somebody or actually just need a sounding board to bounce ideas off of? So the first one is having a colleague look over a lesson. So whether you're a new teacher or a seasoned teacher, if you're trying out something new, you might want somebody to look over your lesson and your idea of how you're going to deliver it so that it can help you kind of guide you and hear what you're saying so that somebody else can also see it. The second thing you might want a colleague to look over is an email. A second set of eyes is always really good on an email, especially if it's to your admin or to a parent, especially if you're feeling some kind of strong emotion when you're writing this email. Having somebody look at it before you send it out is always a really good idea. The third thing you might want a colleague to look over is your grading system. Whether you're starting a new grading system or you had one and you're seeing not the results that you want, maybe you can collaborate with somebody and talk about how they do their grading system, or you just share what you're thinking and how you want to try out something new. The fourth thing you might want to share with somebody is any projects that you're having students complete, especially if you're doing like a project-based learning project where there's so much involved and so many pieces. You might have spent so much time putting that together. So sharing that with somebody of what the project looks like is going to be helpful for you to be able to see, maybe I need to make this easier to understand, or maybe I made this section a little bit too complicated. So projects are always a really good idea to have somebody look over. And if it includes a rubric might also be something you want somebody to look over. And my 5th example is a discipline plan or any kind of discipline action that you're planning to have with a student. Especially if you're emotionally charged at the moment when you want to take this discipline action on a student, you want to have somebody that's unbiased, hear what your plan is, because, we're only human, and of course our emotions can run high sometimes. Some students can get under our skin, and so instead of being reactive, share what you're thinking of doing, what was your action plan with a colleague, so that maybe they can give you some feedback on what might be a better action, especially if you know that you're feeling somewhat emotional about what happened. You want to share that with somebody. So let's jump into the 3 reasons why I think having a sounding board or some kind of colleague that you trust is really important. Reason number 1, you get to hear your ideas out loud. You might have your ideas planned out on a piece of paper, but when you say them out loud, it really helps you be able to just think about it in a different way. And hearing your ideas, whether your colleague or whoever you share with is not providing you any kind of new information or new insight, just hearing yourself out loud is going to make you be able to make better decisions and go in a better direction. Whatever it is, whether it's the email that you were going to send out or the project or the lesson you were planning on, hearing it out loud is going to make a world of difference. Reason number 2 is you might find pitfalls that you weren't thinking about. When you share with a colleague, they might be able to ask you some questions on different topics, maybe your grading scale, and there could be pitfalls that you didn't really think about and then you wouldn't really see unless you shared it with somebody else. And then you can go have a back and forth and you'll be able to say, oh yeah, you know what, I didn't think that it could go that way, or that students might read it in that way. So those pitfalls can be avoided if you share that with somebody. Reason number 3 is feedback. We all know feedback is so important, whether you're giving feedback to your students, but as teachers, we need feedback too so that we know that we're doing a good job. And so I'm lucky enough that my spouse is also in education, and I'm constantly asking for feedback. Whether it's like, can you look at this PowerPoint and let me know what you think? Are the colors working? Is the format okay? Like, what are people going to be able to gain from that information? If I'm writing an email, how does my tone sound? Is my idea coming through on this? How can I reword this sentence? And so that feedback is so important, and we need that. So we want to be able to collaborate with people that we trust, that's going to provide us feedback, whether it's your spouse or it's a colleague at work. You know, having 2 or 3 people that you can go to and share that information with is just going to make you such a better educator. So don't be afraid to go and ask for somebody to look at your lesson plan or whatever it is that you want students to do, because you're going to become a better educator when you get that feedback and you're sharing that information. And you might gain something brand new that you never thought of, and it's going to just boost whatever it is that you're going to do and knock it out of the park. And so you want to make sure you're reaching out to people. If you want to get more information on how to collaborate with others, check out my website at cindyrosa.com. And on there, you can also check out my ebook on the 12 monstrous mistakes that teachers make and how to avoid them. To recap, find that one person or a group of people that you trust that's going to give you honest feedback on whatever it is that you're asking for. It's going to make you such a better teacher when you're able to have somebody give you feedback, look at your ideas so that you can just continue to grow and make the best decisions for your students. If you want to get a free 1-hour session, coaching session with me, head over to cindyrosa.com to get that information on how we can collaborate. Leave a comment below and let me know if you agree or disagree that having collaboration with educators is a very important practice. And as always, remember, we don't need to make students want to come to school. We need to create schools that students want to attend.